So, hi guys, what's up and welcome back to another video, another episode of Immigrant Life in Germany. And with me today is Miss Alari. I'm going to let her introduce herself, but you guys know that I'm so invested when it comes to hearing the stories of fellow immigrants here in Germany. So, yes, with me today is Miss Alari. So, tell us your actual name and yeah, introduce yourself to my gang.
Hi guys, hi lovely snack. I will always say my name is Miss Alari on YouTube, but my free name or my full name is Success Alari. I moved to Germany in 2014. I'm currently living here now for 10 years. I live with my parents and siblings. I'm the oldest among five siblings. I did a Ausbildung in Germany, as well as studying currently part time, and I run a small business called Rogire. It's an African clothing brand. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nice, really nice. I'm going to be leaving your clothing brand. I mean, it's German based, right? Like it's for people in Germany.
Yes, yes, it's in
Okay,
Germany. Yes. Mhm.
nice. So I'm going to be leaving your link for anyone who wants to check out what you do, as well as your YouTube handle as well. So guys, do well to follow her before you continue watching this video, or maybe after, whichever one you choose to. But yeah, because I also featured on her channel, and it would be nice to also catch up on what we did there. Okay. So, Success, that's your name, right? What's your other name?
Yes.
Ivy, right? If
Ah,
that one.
Ivie. But Ivie is not like an official name. Ivie is more like a grandma's name. Not Ivie.
Okay, okay,
Actually,
okay, 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 okay.
community giving people's name up and down. So,
Okay. So we stick with Success then.
mhm.
So I'm usually very fascinated, really, to hear the stories of people who came here way back, especially as kids, right? So, especially with regards to topics that have to do with how settled they feel in Germany, how much they feel like if they have an actual sense of belonging and everything, and that's really what today's topic will be centered around. Okay, so the first thing that I want, okay, you've introduced yourself now. The second thing that I'm going to ask you is how your perspective has changed considering the fact that you grew up in Germany. I mean, you came here as a child, and I do know that coming here as a child is not easy, because I also have a friend who's a content creator as well, Phoebe. She has been on my channel a couple of times, and she's told us her own story as well. So I'm really curious to know, how was it for you arriving here as a young child? As a young child, we have old children. Arriving here as a child,
Yeah.
and how has it been for you, like, trying to navigate life as a kid and everything?
Wow. Um, I would say let me backtrack a bit, right? So I was living in Edo, Benin City in Nigeria. That's where I went to primary school, or most of my primary school. And then I was in JSS1 when I got a call one day from my mom, and she's like, "Would you like to come and live with me in Germany?" And in my head, I didn't know what was Germany. I didn't know they don't speak English. I don't even know I didn't know what to expect. So in my head, as a child, I was just like, yes, as far as I'm living with my mom, sure, why not? And then I remember we um, came down at Hamburg Airport. My mom was at the welcoming area. She was crying. She was so emotional, hugging me and my brother. And then we went to the car and we're just driving home. And for me, I was just like, oh my God, this place is so beautiful. Like everywhere was clean. The weather was nice. It was summer period, actually.
Perfect.
So it was really nice. And then it was like the plants have started like growing again and stuff. So it was really like, a nice feel.
Beautiful.
But at the same time, I was feeling like I'm in a movie. You know when you're just like, how did I get here? What am I doing here? Please, somebody help me out.
I can imagine.
So yeah, that was what was going through my mind. And then obviously I met my like siblings, my three other siblings, then even my mom, my dad. Everything was a lot. It was like new. And then the way I was
For sure.
removed from Nigeria, I would never say I traveled. I was uprooted from Nigeria because literally I got a visa and don't tell anybody. You know that culture of don't tell anybody
Not
you're traveling, don't
anybody,
tell
but
anybody
first
you're
come
moving.
first. Yeah.
See, and I don't have any contact with my old friends. I don't even know where they are,
Oh.
how, and that if I think about it now, I'm just like, that was not the best way for people to take me out of Nigeria. And um Yeah, so for me it was quite difficult looking like getting to meet new people, making friends, and then the German language hit me. Oh my days. So that I was actually at GSS2, which is in, I think it's class 7
Mm.
in, yeah, it's class 7 range in Germany.
Mhm.
But then I was brought back to, so I was taken back to one class downwards, which was class 6, because my German was not good enough. And this, mind you, this was already after a year of German class. So
Wow.
normally if I was to be in Nigeria, I would be in class 8. So literally 2 years of my
Taking
school
away.
years taken back from me and stuff. And in Nigeria also you have the mentality of you must study. You better not come home with a second. Don't even try it.
Other people
Don't
that
even try it.
other people that came first, they didn't have three heads, not even two.
You get no. So I already had that mentality of I need to be first, I need to be this, and then starting school in a country where you don't understand the language,
Crazy
and you will be
suffering.
in class and you just be like, I don't understand what's going on. And after school, you're just like, I didn't even learn anything today. And it was just, I don't know. There was a phase in my life where I felt lost. It was like I was living in a movie. Like I didn't really understand what was going
As a
on.
child, oh
And my
my god, I
grades,
can imagine.
obviously, you get
May I ask how
my
old you
grades.
were?
I was 13.
Wow.
I was 13, quite young actually. I would even say that like that's the stage where you actually start improve, like growing your identity. Okay,
Yeah,
this is what I should do. This, like
yeah.
knowing your environment, and that was the stage of the transitioning and everything.
Mm.
Um, but I knew I struggled a lot in school, and that actually because I'm very like I need to be at the top of my game. I need to be
Yeah.
at the top of my grades. I need to be one of the best in class. This actually changed over time when I learned the language, also settled in and stuff. But initially, from the beginning, it was a struggle. Like it was frustrating, actually. Yeah.
Wow. That's really. I mean, I can relate to this now because, but like I said, my friend Phoebe has also like she had the same similar experience, and it's I can only imagine.
Mm,
Wow. But then now you talk about identity. I'm curious to know, like, do you ever or have you ever in the past 10 years felt the pressure to like choose
mhm,
between what you knew as your identity, like your Nigerian or Edo cultural identity? Do
mhm.
you have you ever had to choose between that and the cultural identity, like the German cultural identity that you have formed for yourself here in Germany, or have you been able to find the balance somehow? Do you get what I mean? Like,
Mhm, mhm,
where do you tend to lean more towards, or are you able to just find a blend of the both cultures? Like,
mhm. That is very difficult to say because up until I'll say last 2 years, I struggled with it a lot because for me, if you ask me like last 2 years, where are you from? I'll tell you in German, ich komme gebürtig aus Nigeria, aber
hmm,
ich bin Hamburgerin. So
understand.
I'm literally telling you, I was born in Nigeria, but I'm from Hamburg. And
Mm.
then people will look at me so confused, like, what do you mean you're from Hamburg? Like, and because German, we don't have, when you're in America, be like, oh, Black American and stuff.
Yeah,
It's not like that
it's not like
in
you
Germany.
can't
We
really
don't
say
have
pro
something like,
German. It's not a thing. Yes, I
yeah.
know what you mean. Yeah.
So they were like, so, and then you hear story like, okay, where are your parents from? My parents are
Mm.
German as well. What do you mean? And then you
Mm.
not hear, where
Oh,
are your
yes.
grandparents from?
Yeah, I want to
Like
know.
they're going backward until you mention something with
Yeah,
I'm
I
from
get that
Africa,
all the
I'm
time.
from
Yeah,
Nigeria, and
yes,
then you can
yes.
literally see the relief on their face.
Like,
So for
oh,
me,
don't gaslight me. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
so for me it was quite difficult because at some scenarios I didn't know, okay, should I introduce myself now as a German? Should I introduce myself now as a Nigerian?
Mm.
Or if I'm in a there was a conference I attended one time with my school, and we're told to introduce ourselves. And I did introduce myself as a German, and everybody like you can see the
You
confusion on
sound
their
like
faces. And then
imposter, girl.
I just quickly mentioned, well, but my parents are Nigerian, okay,
Oh
so
my
you guys can come.
goodness. Oh, that's crazy.
But
That's really crazy.
but generally, I would say I just pick depending on where I am, depending on the scenario and the situation. So I've just learned over time. If I'm among, I would say if I'm in a situation where I feel like, okay, I can introduce myself as a German without having to explain why I am a black German or something, I would do it. But I also understand that my parents will tell you outside of this house, you are
Mm,
German. Once you
mm,
enter this house, you're an African woman. So you are going to like they still raise you like a proper African
African.
kid and stuff.
Mm.
So I don't know if I would say I feel pressured. I would just say I've learned over time to balance it based on scenarios, situations that I find myself. And yeah, and that's there's not like Afro German or
Something like
Black
African woman.
German.
Yeah. To be when I went, there's this the counter that I know. When I remember I asked her cousin, or was it her niece, where are you from? And she's like, you should come out. What's that city she mentioned? I can't remember. It was a German city. I was like, hey.
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, so each their own. But personally, I don't intend to raise my kids with the knowledge that, or with the idea that
Mhm.
they are German. Even when you go out,
Mhm.
where are you from? You say where you're from. You're just German on paper. That's my
Mhm.
view, to be honest. I mean, no offense to anybody, but that's really
No, 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 I
except
get.
you are, do you understand? Like, except where you have to show some form of identity card or
Mhm.
something. But I'll always raise them when they ask you where you're from. This is where you're, even though you were born in Germany or born wherever you are, this is who you are.
Mhm.
So yeah, because
Mhm.
I mean, I know that it can be difficult most times for children, like you said, when you go into certain spaces, when you say you're German, everybody's kind of like, because I also get that thing here too sometimes when I'm when they're like,
Mhm.
well, here comes to, I'm like, you should come out, you know, I mentioned the city and they're like, nee, well, here comes to, you should put English. I'm like,
Yeah.
Nigeria. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that as an adult, so imagine how it would be for children. So, but yeah, I love the fact that you're being able to, or you've been able to find a balance and everything between the both
Mhm.
cultures. But then on the other hand, I'm really curious to know, over the years up until now, do you feel like you really belong? Do you have that sense of belonging in Germany? Do you feel accepted in Germany after spending all this time in this country?
Mhm. Yes. If
Okay.
I'm going to be honest, yes.
Okay.
Um, because I think there's a lot of um social media campaign about black people not being accepted in Germany and stuff. And me personally, I would not say I've faced any type of racism like that is now registered in my memory. Obviously, there are situations where people will stare at you. There are situations
I'm
where people will
sorry.
look at you in a
Yeah, yeah,
funny way.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
but I would like for me sometimes it's coming from a place of or when you travel and do maybe you go to like German villages and stuff where there are not a lot of black people. Maybe you go camping and I love being in nature a lot.
Mm,
So I
right.
will get stares always like, where are you from? Then you'll be like, I'm from Hamburg. No, where are you really from? So you get that part as well.
Yeah.
Um, but I would say I think or I feel fully accepted as a German because
Yes.
obviously German are also people that if you that's also one thing, if you speak their language, there's a certain acceptance that comes with it. So they already
Mm,
know, okay,
true
this
that.
person
He's ready
actually
to
probably
great.
grew
Yeah.
up here, behaves more like German and stuff. But I would not say there's any do I feel any way or do I feel like I'm not fully accepted as a German? Not really, to be honest. If I'm going to be 100% honest, not really. I've never been in a situation where I felt left out. If I ever felt left out, it's because I maybe just ich
Chose
habe mich
to.
zurückgehalten. So I just chose to like sit back, nothing.
Mm,
But I'm someone. If I enter a room, you will definitely notice I'm there.
okay.
So if you are going to play the "I did not see you" kind of card on me, then it's coming from another place or another setting. But
Mm.
generally, I feel like I'm accepted in Germany. To be honest,
Okay, I
yeah.
really love it for you, right? And okay, consider that you live here with your family and stuff, and like you said, your parents will tell you inside this house you are an African woman, you are of Edo heritage, but outside the
Mhm.
room, you outside the house, you are German, right? So, how would you say that your family's traditions or your family's upbringing has influenced your day-to-day life in Germany?
Mhm. So at the beginning, because German kids are actually raised to be very blunt and
Okay,
very
I had a
direct,
lot.
right? So you hear my siblings that were born here say some certain things to my parents, not in a disrespectful way, but just like they're curious or they want to know something. And in my head, I'm just like, hey, Jesus Christ of geography. um, so, but over time, I've gotten used to also like, okay, if I have an opinion, I'll air it. But best believe the African training in me will not allow me to air it the way my siblings or my younger siblings will
Mm,
air their opinion.
yeah.
Like there's always a back, there's a one voice in my head like, this thing you want to say, think about it again, reconstruct it, rethink about it.
Mm,
Which words are you going to use? My
mm,
sister, like my junior sister, if you send her message, let me say 10 times in a row,
mm.
at the 11th time she might tell you, I'm very sure your leg is not paining you. Can you please stop disturbing me?
Wow.
And it's not coming from a place
Of
of maybe
disrespect.
she wants to disrespect you and it's maybe she's just tired or she's just coming back from school. But for me, I don't know, I'll probably say it in a more polite way, like I'll go later, or must I do it now? Can't
Yeah.
you send someone else? But at the same time, living in Germany has also taught me to like, if you want something, you have to fight for it. So it's
Mm,
not I know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody,
mm,
or it's not a case of I'm a black woman, I cannot like get this position or something. So living in Germany has also taught me to be blunt, but not to my parents or African people. But like if I get to my workspace, if my let me say my boss is doing something that I don't concur with, then I'm going to say it to you. I'm not going to say it to you in a disrespectful way, but I'm going to say it to you regardless, right?
mm,
And for me, it's also like living in Germany or growing up in Germany also helped me in the sense of what's the word I'm looking for? Of just being yourself. So you can
mm.
be whatever you
Authentic.
want to
Yeah.
be.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You are not put in a box. You are not just a woman that should um what's it called? End up in the kitchen, if I'm going to put it in a dramatic way, or you are like, okay, you go to school, you get married, you do this, you do that. Like there is no rule or no per se pressure on me to be a particular way. So
Mm,
Germany, like growing up in Germany is like you can be whosoever you want to be. You can attain whatever heights you want to attain in life. And for me, that has been very helpful. And I would say the balance was is quite hard still because now that I'm growing up, I'm an adult. I'm trying some things now. I have to say to my parents, no, I'm not doing that
mm-hmm.
because I know in Germany I have the liberty to say no. Even though I know afterwards they will call family meeting on my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, but just finding the balance as well is very important.
That's
Mhm.
really nice. That's interesting. So I think you've pretty much answered the next question on my mind, which was like how growing up between these two cultures, has shaped who you are. But then I think you pretty much answered that. So the next thing I'm really curious to know right now is like, do you think that your experiences so far as an immigrant gives you an advantage in certain areas of your life?
Yes.
How so?
Yes. So I would say me growing up in Nigeria, especially, I obviously like there is a level of struggle that comes with living in Nigeria and stuff. So I would say where my peers would be like, I'm done. I'm just like, do you know how many people will fight to be in this opposition today? Like, so for me, there is a willpower that comes with being raised in Africa. There's a
Mm,
strong power that I can do anything that I
yeah.
want to do. And also just yeah, just the willpower to know that okay, I can do anything that I want to do. And where I am currently today is someone else's dream, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
so
yeah. Totally get
like
you.
because I would say German kids are more like I'm not ready to stress my life. Not all, obviously, but like there's some stuff that will stress them out. Also, like my mental health, my mental health, I'm just like, oh, have you seen anything that will stress your mental health? Carry down your mental health and flush it in the toilet. Obviously, there are like severe case and stuff that we should take seriously, but like
Mhm.
still the same
Definitely.
thing, finding the balance and stuff. So me growing up in Nigeria also shows me that oh, where I am today is a privilege. You get so
Mhm.
just different perspective and also like the spirit of gratitude to be
Mhm.
content with what you have.
Mhm.
um I don't know if I will have that same character or that same way of thinking if I was just barely raised in Germany and brought up. So, but just seeing that, oh, your world can be like this and your world can also be like this
Mm.
in a nutshell. So, yeah.
Okay, really interesting. And there was something I forgot to ask you earlier, when I was talking about if you really truly felt that you belong in Germany. As much as yes, you
Mhm.
said you do feel like you belong here, but I'm also curious to know, like, are there times when you sort of felt out of place somehow? And how were you able to navigate if at some point in this past 10 years you did feel out of place
Mhm.
once or twice? How were you able to, get past it, navigate it, and all of that?
I think this happened when I was in school, primary school, like
Mm,
primary school, and this was like early stage of living in Germany,
mm,
where it was more like, oh, I didn't have friends because first of all, I don't know how to communicate with these people.
mm,
Second of all, my grades in school were really bad,
mm,
and there was a time I was going to. So you know how you get a topic and then you say present it in class and stuff, and I had a presentation and I was supposed to present it in German, and the whole presentation was upside down because the German was not German.
mm.
The German was not German, and obviously these are kids, right? So they were laughing and stuff. And for me, I just felt like, do I even belong here? Like, what am I doing here? Please send me back to Nigeria. But other than that, I would say I've integrated really pretty, if to be honest. Like I've in terms of work, school, friendship, I've integrated really well that if I feel out of place, then it's probably not because I'm in Germany. So if the same scenario was to play in Nigeria, I will
Mm,
still feel out of place, if that makes sense. So I would just be like,
okay.
okay, it's either I'm leaving that space or
Mm,
I'm going to just try and sort myself out of it in a
okay,
way.
okay.
Or it's not per se because I'm in Germany or because they're
I
speaking
see.
German or
Okay.
anything. So it's just, and then I just tell myself, if this same scenario was to be playing in your land or in your hometown, would you still feel out of place? And if the answer is yes, then
Then fair
obviously,
point.
yeah.
Very fair point.
Mhm.
Yeah. Now speaking of friendships, I'm curious. How easy was it for you to make friends here on arrival as a kid? And also, like, were you able to easily find and connect with other immigrants? Like Phoebe will call them imported immigrant children. Were you able to find them? Was it easy for you to find them, connect with them? Generally just build friendships around people that had similar experiences or backgrounds as you had several years back. So, how easy was it for
Mhm.
you?
I would say so. Growing up, same thing. Friendship was very difficult and stuff. And I'm very introverted, so I'm not the kind of person that will write you. I'm not the kind of person that will call you. I'll probably just write you when I need something. And if
Mm,
you write me once in a year just because you need something, I'm also not mad about it. So all those category of fake friends because you only write me once, I'm not doing that.
so you're
Please,
like
I'm
a
not.
very
Don't
low
stress my phone.
maintenance friend. I love it for you.
Yeah, don't stress my phone if you don't have anything important to say. But obviously, now growing up, I'm trying to like amend that part because I know it's. I would not for me it's not a weakness, though, but my friends complain about it a lot. So I'm trying like, okay, I will just sit down randomly now and call someone. How are you? And then if the gist has passed 5 minutes, okay, bye bye. We'll talk later. It's not for me. So I would say the low maintenance friendship kind of character that I have made me not to be able to keep like friendship from school. So
I
I would say
see.
for my whole school, I don't have any friends anymore from the class,
Oh wow.
which is quite, and I would say that's my fault. Let me own it to my full chest because you will see my friends calling me, oh, let's go out. I will tell you I'm coming. And then the next 30 minutes, I'm just like, oh, before I enter bus in this code, get there just to go and drink coffee. I'm not going.
Girl, just to go and drink coffee, but really, like, it depends on who it is. Like,
I did
first
not value
person.
it then. Oh.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, I
okay,
did
okay.
not value it then. But now, if you call me, let's go and drink coffee. Even if I don't want to leave my house, I will try my possible best to meet up. So with friendship, I would say I'm very introverted. Like I said before, I don't know how to keep friendship. Like it's not one of
Forte.
my
What I
favorite.
think.
Yeah, so it's not like one of my soft skills or
Mm,
anything. So over time, if I have to build friendship, then I'm putting extra effort to
mm,
build it. And um, as of last year, I actually made really good quality friends, especially like Nigerians and also immigrants. And in terms of imported immigrants kids, like Phoebe would say, obviously like my mom had like friends that also brought their kids, so I
Mm,
would say it was like a whole community. It's like, okay, this my friend has bring their own kids already, let me
mm,
bring my kids, let me then the
mm,
next person, the next person, the next person.
mm.
But because Hamburg, for example, as a city is very big,
So big.
like one person can be doing 2 hours away, so
Yes.
but your friends probably show up on their birthday, you probably show up on important events, you
Mm.
guys can catch up on each other, maybe follow yourself on Instagram, comment on their posts. But I would not say like per se friend, like we are now bestie or anything. So me growing up now as an adult, I'm trying to improve my friendship group, especially with Nigerians and African people. And yeah, so just the whole
Very
package of
important.
friendship.
Yeah.
I'm still working on it.
It's very important. Like personally, I used to be a high maintenance friend, but as I grew older, I realized that it's not that deep, really. Just
It's
what I
actually not that
no, the
deep.
thing is that it's not that deep. And then again, I just I learned to like follow your vibe. If I get the vibe,
Mhm,
for example, that you are like a very low maintenance friend, I'll give you that vibe. Like if you're the kind of friend that
mhm,
will write me once in 2 months, I will give you the exact same vibe. It's like garbage in, garbage out. And if you also figure out that you're
mhm,
a friend that you always constantly reach out, or you always want to constantly write me or check up on me, best believe I'm probably going to give
mhm,
you double dose of that. So I figured that
mhm,
out as I grew older, and since then I'm at peace. Because before now, I used to be part of those that if you don't call me often like I call you or write me often like I write you, I feel like okay, you're a bad friend or you're not nice or you don't
mhm.
like me. But genuinely, people are just not the writing type, calling type. But then when they eventually do speak to you, it's all love and vibe.
Yeah.
So I totally get where you're coming from, and just try.
Let me just add let me just add to the part where like you give the same energy you are giving. To be honest, for us that are low maintenance people in terms of
Mhm.
friendship, so I have a girlfriend, right? I'll call her Auntie Praise. Another part of me putting auntie and uncle in everybody's name. The Nigerian training me don't want to leave.
Yeah, I
So her
understand.
name is Praise, right? Praise will literally call me maybe every day after work, right?
Okay.
So there was a time she stopped calling me. I did not realize it. Like after a week, I'm like, wait, this babe is not calling me again. What's going on? So I
Mhm.
now have to put extra effort to be the one calling her because
Yeah.
it's not as if I don't want to be
It
your
can be.
friend. I
Yeah.
actually love you genuinely from my heart, but it's difficult. It's
Yeah,
just
I
difficult. I'd
understand.
rather just yeah, so it's not but I get the whole part of giving the same energy, even though we don't like it sometimes.
Yeah.
So I just had yeah, it's not because I don't want to be your friend. It's just, understand my personality. But if you call me at the middle of the night and you need me, definitely even if it's 6 hours drive, I will drive you to your house. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's the kind of friend I am.
Oh, that's
You
really
must not call me every day.
okay. Interesting. So, from your own perspective, do you think
Mhm.
that immigrants in Germany are viewed a certain type of way? And if you
Hmm.
do think that way, is there okay? Let's start from this first. Like, do you think that there's a certain way that immigrants are perceived in Germany?
Yes, in general, yes. I think if you're not German by birth, let me put it that way, there's a kind of, oh, you're here because you need help. You're here because you're struggling in your country. Kind of like a
It's a job
refugee.
mentality. Like they have the same
Yes,
job
like a
mentality.
yeah, Germany is the reason you are still alive kind of perspective. And then when it comes to like the black immigrant community, let me put it that way, there's a aggression perspective that comes with it,
Mm.
that black immigrants are very aggressive people. We're not aggressive people, we're very passionate people. So when we're doing something and maybe we're raising our voice, it's not because we want to be aggressive in the situation, it's because we're passionate about it. So like you'll see us having a discussion at work
So,
and maybe I'll be on the top of my voice.
so,
And then
so,
you'll be like, why are you shouting?
so,
Why are you being aggressive?
you know, I watched one video on Instagram a couple of days ago. I don't know if you saw it. It was kind of viral. Like a white
Mhm,
guy. I don't know if he's American or European or Caucasian, but he was in the midst of Africans, and it
mhm.
was like a game night. And they were screaming,
I
like
saw,
talking
yeah, yeah.
about sorry, right? Talking about the rules of
I've
the
seen
game.
it,
And the
yeah.
guy was looking like, what's going on here? Like it took one of that African to like bring him up and be like, bro, it's not that deep. We're just talking about the rules of the game. So it will be like a huge culture shock for many of them to hear the way Africans communicate. Like that's the way we talk. That's the way most Africans talk. So I
Yeah,
wish they would
yeah.
understand it that way.
Because
So continue.
like the same thing. Because if for example we have like a meeting at work, and I'm passionate about a particular point, and I'm trying to like bring the point that no, I'm not done. You're not listening to me. Calm down, wait. And then he's like, Gigi. So they call me Gigi at work. Gigi, you are shouting. Why are you being aggressive about this? So it took them also time to be like. So
That's
now if I'm even shouting, stuff, nobody will pay me attention. Like if you are done, you rest. But I like African people are not aggressive people, or black people are not aggressive people. Like even whether you are black or white or whatever you are, they are always aggression is not based on your color, right? Like I've seen white aggressive people
yeah,
before.
of
I've
course.
seen Asian aggressive people before. But like just know that if a black person is shouting or maybe doing something extreme, don't see it as aggression. See it more like, oh, this person is really passionate about this stuff. So I wish sometimes people can see it from that perspective, but I mean, cannot change the word.
So basically, what is that one thing that you could change about the perception of immigrants? How do I put this? Like,
Mm,
yeah, what's that one thing that you would change with regards to how
mhm.
the Germans perceive immigrants? If you could change it.
Let me just, if I can say two.
Sure.
The one, the first one is we're not aggressive people. We're very
Mm.
passionate people. We're
Mhm.
doing something that we're passionate about. You definitely hear it in our voices. You feel it. You feel the energy, but that
Mm.
does not translate to aggression.
Mhm.
And also knowing that some immigrants actually have the option of going to like the US, going to other countries to live, but they decide to come to Germany not because they need saving or something. The same way Germans will also pick their things and be like, you know what? There are Germans that live in South Africa.
Of
There are
course.
Germans that probably also live in Nigeria. But does that mean oh they are there because they need some kind of saving or anything? So I think if the world can change that perspective a bit, we'll be in a better space, definitely.
That's really nice. I really appreciate your time and your input so far. And I really hope that it's inspiring to someone out there, whoever it is that is planning to maybe relocate their children to Germany, or whoever it is that, wants to have kids in Germany, just generally know how it is, like being an immigrant, like having to grow up as an immigrant in Germany. So thank you so much for your time. Success. I always want to call you Evie from Instagram. Thank you so much for
You can
your
also come in this for anyone you like.
all right, that's fine. Thank you very much for your
Mhm.
input. I really do appreciate it. And yes, I hope that anyone who is watching this as well is like loved this episode, and do well to follow her on Instagram and on YouTube. Yes, Instagram and YouTube. I'm going to be leaving her handles here as well as her business page in the description. Let's go support her. And yeah, guys, don't forget to stay subscribed to my channel as well, and do well to share the video if you liked it, and give it a thumbs up as well if you did like it. And don't forget again to head over to her channel, because there we are going to have a video, or we have a video together on that channel. So yeah, see you over there. And drop any questions and comments that you would like us to address. If you have any questions, put it there. If you have any comments, leave it there as well. We're going to answer to them promptly. Okay? So thank you guys
Yeah.
for watching to this point,
Thanks for
and
having me.
it's a pleasure,
Bye
girl.
guys.
Bye.